What's happening, everybody? I trust that you're all well. It's looking like it's going to happen. Mauricio Pochettino will become the Chelsea manager. They are words that I never thought I would say. And to be totally frank, words I never wanted to say. To help me explore this, to help shed some light on this from an alternative side, it's Flav, the one and only from the Fighting Cock podcast. Flav, an honour to welcome you onto this channel, mate. It's been a while.
It has. What do you mean you don't want him? Who do you think you are?
Mate, why would I want? Why would I want? He is the personification of Tottenham Hotspur. Why would I want that at Chelsea?
Because what Chelsea are now, a shadow of what you grew up watching. Not even the 90s, like 2000s Chelsea are different to what this is. Your club is in a complete mess. I mean, ours was bad. We're in a bad situation. But for you to say, no, we're better than Pochettino, that is mental to me.
No, Flav, it's not about that. It's not about whether we're better. Is Pochettino a good manager? Yes. Is he as good as everyone thinks he is, in my opinion? No. Is he better than what we currently have or had previously? 100%. It isn't about that. For me, it's about tribalism. It's about rivalry. It's about principle. And Mauricio Pochettino's lasting memory at Stamford Bridge should be crying in the away dressing room, not trying to create winners in the home dressing room.
There was no crying. The only one
there were
tears. Crying was your lot.
No, Danny Rose was crying. Danny Rose was in tears by his own admission, and it's important that you remember that. I don't. Am I wrong here? Do you think tribalism doesn't exist in football anymore? Am I?
I'm with you, but we're old. We're getting on, mate. This is something that was important a long time ago. But in the world. No, it still exists. It definitely exists. And if you go down to pubs and you know you go to talk to the match day going fan, it's important. It really is important, and that part of it should remain. It's an important part of football. Football is nothing without rivalry. It's nothing. So to have to look at Conte coming to Tottenham and not think about him being the Chelsea manager is something that very few Spurs fans did. Same with Jose Mourinho.
It should have been universal outcry there, though, shouldn't there?
Ultimately, it's about winning. And that's the question of whether or not Pochettino is going to be the right manager for Chelsea, because he doesn't win typically. He did a little bit at PSG, but that actually the job is comparable, really. Lots of superstars, lots of big money, lots of moving parts. Whereas Pochettino at Tottenham and Southampton before it was turning lesser players into great ones or good ones.
But you see, that's why okay. So now, if we subtract, right, and dismiss all of my tribalism with regards to Pochettino and just analyze him as a manager, the appointment troubles me. The reasoning behind appointing Pochettino troubles me, because what I think it signifies is an admission from this board that we aren't going to compete for the league. What we're going to try and do is create players, maybe sell them on. Like what Pochettino excels at is developing young players. So we're not going to be buying the best anymore. You know, like when Chelsea were in our pomp, when we were winning back-to-back league titles, Michael Essien, for example, became available. We didn't have a manager in place to develop him. We didn't sign a player who was developing. We went and bought the very best midfielder in Europe that everyone wanted. We plonked him into the already existing best midfield in the league, and we won the league again with the best manager at the helm. This Pochettino appointment feels to me that it's a reshaping of the way that we do things. We are going to now develop players, bring in young players, potentially sell them on. You know, you bring in someone like Enzo Fernandez, Pochettino develops him, Real Madrid come calling. That isn't what I want Chelsea to be. I want Chelsea to win and compete with Guardiola at every single level. And I don't think Pochettino is that.
I agree with you. And as a Spurs fan, I would love that as well, right? But we don't always get what we want. You've had that. We've never had that. So, you know.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not happy with the appointment. That's why we should be going for somebody that could compete. And somebody like Luis Enrique, for example.
Yeah. I mean, he's available, and he's the one that's been sort of touted around a few of the clubs that are looking for managers at the moment. Weirdly, right, this is probably where we're both at, and why I'm a Spurs fan and you're a Chelsea fan, is like, if I had the choice, I would take Pochettino over Luis Enrique, because to me, it just feels like a short-termist thing. And as Spurs fans, we're kind of desperate for some sort of project now, so we can just get our teeth into, rather than waiting 18 months for our managerial appointment to explode. But just to your point, I think that's what Todd Bowley's vision is, clearly, because he's brought Potter in before him, and then he sacked Tuchel, which is, you know, crazy, but obviously not in line with the kind of manager he wants. He's brought in lots of young prospects, paid good money for them. But these are young prospects. You signed an Ecuadorian 15-year-old kid for £17 million. He's buying young and investing in that way. And there's no better manager to deal with that crop of young players than Pochettino, in my opinion. But it isn't what you're asking for.
What about from your perspective? Does this sour your opinion of Mauricio Pochettino? Does this feel Judas-like? Is this Sol Campbell Mark II, or is this incomparable?
No. That's don't even you can't even mention that man's name without me feeling sick. It's nothing like that. It is. It's disappointing, but I think most Spurs fans, their anger isn't at Pochettino, right? Their anger is at Daniel Levy. Like if Daniel Levy allows this to happen, allows Pochettino to go to Chelsea, that's not saying he could. That's not to say that Chelsea. It's in Daniel Levy's hands to stop Chelsea doing what he wants. I'm not saying that. Pochettino is there. He's the crowd are singing his name. He's talked about wanting to return to Tottenham to finish his work. And Daniel Levy hasn't even spoken to him. Not even spoken to him.
Mm. And do you think that could be a motivator for Pochettino? Do you think Pochettino's desire to go to Chelsea could be something 100%.
To do? So it's a finger up. But I think, because otherwise, why? He understands the rivalry. He's talked about never managing Real Madrid because he played for Espanyol. He said, I could never do that. I could never manage Real Madrid. Of course not. This is my heritage. This is who I played for. So for him to now... And it's different because he grew up and he played there. It's different from having 4 years at managing a football club. He's probably just thinking, look, I want to come. If you don't want me, then what do you want me to do? There's a very attractive lady down the road who wants me.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want me anymore.
Do you think it's successful? Do you think Pochettino will end his trophy drought in the Premier League at Chelsea?
I hate to say it, but yeah, I do. I really do.
That would be terrible from your perspective, wouldn't it? To watch Pochettino lift silverware at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, it would. But it's further testament to what has gone wrong with Tottenham Hotspur. And that's Daniel Levy. He's not a chairman who's aggressive, not a chairman who wants to win. He might say it, but he doesn't act in a way that a club as wealthy as we are and charges the kind of season ticket prices and match day prices that he does, for us not to behave in a way that we can get Pochettino back and support him with the players that he never got the first time round, just to see what would happen. It's on Daniel Levy. If Pochettino goes and be successful elsewhere, which is his right to do as a manager, as painful as it is for me to say, and I don't want to see him in the dugout at Chelsea at all. I don't want to see that. Of course not. But we had the opportunity to bring him back and we didn't. And that's on Daniel Levy. If that happens, all of that is on Daniel Levy.
Who do you want, Flav? So let's pretend that Pochettino's off the table from your perspective. Yeah. What's the answer? Obviously, because do you know what? It's weird, isn't it? Our seasons, I think they're weirdly comparable.
Yeah.
It's just you happen to have one of the best footballers in the world in Harry Kane, and we don't. But I think if just in some alternate reality, if Harry Kane was playing for Chelsea, we would be nearly in top four. Probably not going to make it, but nearly. And you would be where we are.
You'd probably, if you had Harry Kane on top, I imagine that. I mean, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to speak into the existence.
Oh my God. Pochettino's going to bring Harry Kane to Chelsea, isn't he?
What, you hadn't thought about that?
No. It just dawned on me now. Hang on, that changes everything.
Well, the rumor is that there are several players in and you've got to take these things with a pinch of salt, but several players in the Tottenham dressing room that want Pochettino, and they've expressed that they want Pochettino. And that can only be one of 4 or 5 players who were playing there under him previously. There's Son, Kane, Lloris, Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer. Mate, forget that out your head. Get that out your head right now.
So what is the answer then? So get back onto it. Like from your perspective, if it's not Pochettino, are you thinking maybe the managers that I was hoping would come to Chelsea? Are you dreaming of Enrique, or is that too optimistic?
We're in the same. We're fishing in the same pond. I think for managers, it's that level. Historically, you would say that Chelsea would always have the pick of the players and managers over Spurs, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Given the size of our football club, not what we've won. I'm not saying we're not going to get into a conversation about who's the bigger or better club or whatever it is, but it's just in terms of the money we can offer. We can compete with anybody pretty much in the world. It's just the freedoms that manager would be allowed. So to answer your question, Kompany is the one I want. I want Vincent Kompany, and that's
Mate, he's done remarkable things this season at Burnley. I know that, but does that not just feel like a real? It's risky, don't you think? No Premier League experience.
Yeah, but you would say that it's a guaranteed result by having Conte and Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years have been the most miserable I've ever had following Spurs.
Do you know who I
Not
think you're going to go for?
who?
Potter, Graham Potter.
I don't want Potter. You know what I need? And this sounds stupid. I need a manager with with an aura about him. Some sort of commands that kind of leads the club. That's what I want. Like that's what Pochettino did when he was at Spurs. He led the club. He was our figurehead, and everything he said that came out of his mouth made sense. Whereas everything that came out of Conte's mouth was like, "This geezer hates us. What's he even doing here?" Same with Mourinho. It was only a matter of time before he left. Whereas I think Company is a leader, and every time I've listened to him speak, I've been impressed, and he plays attractive football. So that's who I want. But I don't think my thoughts or my desires in this respect are reflected by the fan base. I think they want Nagelsmann. I've got reservations about him. I can't. How's it 35-year-old man being able to do the job at
drives
this
a
level?
skateboard to work, Flav? How do you feel?
I knew that. I know. I've heard about you having an issue.
But mate, do you know what? I just don't understand. Whatever's been going on at Chelsea, right, through the years when things have been really, really good. Obviously, when things were bad, we would focus on Tottenham a lot. But even when things were good, we would always focus on Tottenham. There was always animosity towards Tottenham. There was always antipathy, not only to Tottenham as a club, but to anyone associated with the club. I remember when I was a kid and they were talking about George Graham becoming the Chelsea manager. The entire ground was singing about you can stick George Graham where the sun doesn't shine.
Well, so
That principle seems to have gone.
Are you saying that there's Chelsea fans out there that really want Pochettino?
Oh, mate, I've come out and said that I don't want Pochettino. And the most aggressive people against me saying that are Chelsea fans who are now fully in favour, like actively desperate to see Mauricio Pochettino in charge in the home dressing room at Stamford Bridge.
While I think that it does end up in trophies, I don't think it will probably... it doesn't fit in the way that, you know, Ancelotti coming back would fit. Or...
No.
You know, it is that. But, you know, there are other... Sometimes, like, you know, the tribalism manifests in they want to get one over and want to on the other fan base. You know, Arsenal had absolutely no issue and have no issue with Campbell and how he behaved and what he did. All they see is we got one over on Arsenal rather than having one of the most treacherous individuals inviting a snake into the house and then petting him like he's a dog.
There is one thing here. There is one thing that watching Pochettino lift silverware for Chelsea, potentially even at Tottenham's expense. I mean, that's I can make that work for me because if nothing else, it cuts you in half. Yeah, it cuts you in half, and therefore,
as long as you found a way around it in your head.
Oh dear. So yeah, overall though, you think he'll do it? You think you don't think that there's a loyalty to Tottenham that will stop him doing it?
No, I think it's done already. As I understand it, and we all kind of hear in the news, they've met several times. He's met Todd Bowley 4 or 5 times. It's happening.
That should be enough to put him off. Surely that put Pochettino off.
You're not a fan, no.
No, not so far, mate. Not so far at all. But you know, hopefully this could be the correct one. Does this alter the way that you feel about Pochettino? Like you're not singing about him being magic, you know, when he comes back to White Hart Lane as Chelsea manager, right?
Sorry, I keep swearing. No, absolutely not. That's it. I mean, that's the relationship is done, isn't it? It's over. It's not. I don't necessarily blame him because, like I say, Daniel Levy could have made one phone call and made it happen. He didn't, so it's on him. So I don't blame Pochettino. I wish he'd chosen any other club other than Arsenal. But he hasn't.
There is a world here. Do you know what? There's an opportunity here for Daniel Levy to suddenly curry a lot of favour with Tottenham fans, isn't there? Swoop in.
So easy.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, even if he doesn't think he's the right man,
just stop him going to Chelsea. Stop him going
to Chelsea. But also, it's not on him. Daniel Levy, if this doesn't work, he'd be like, well, you were singing his name. You wanted him back. He's done incredible. It made complete sense. If in 2 years' time it hasn't worked, no one's going to look at Daniel Levy and go, oh, yeah, you messed up again.
Yeah, well, Daniel Levy could actually go to you lot. Your man, your fault. He's not blaming you.
I mean, he doesn't even have to blame him, but he's in a situation now where there's so much vitriol against him.
Mm.
3 in 4 people want him out, according to a poll we did. For sort of 76% want him out, and all he has to do is make one phone call to make this happen, and the weight is off him, the heat is off him.
Yeah,
but he won't, because he's ignorant, and he's ignorant to the will of the fans, and he thinks he knows best. And for yesterday, a statement come out for the first time ever, and he showed some sort of acknowledgement that he'd made mistakes.
I think he needs to talk to you though, and not via a Cambridge Union or whatever. I think he needs to. I think he needs to talk to
the
Tottenham
room.
fans.
He hasn't said a word to us, and then he goes and does an interview at Cambridge, the halls of Cambridge.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking?
Yeah, shoddy, really shoddy. Flav, as always, mate, it's an honour to welcome you onto this channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Pint soon.
Thank you so much for everybody for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. Make sure that you check out Flav. These links to everything is in the description below. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in a bit.